Welcome back to Liberty Coin USA. Today, we're exploring one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the United States wheat penny. Minted from 1909 to 1958, wheat pennies are famous for their classic design, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and two wheat ears on the reverse. Some wheat pennies are common and worth only a small amount, but certain rare dates, mint marks, errors, and high-grade examples can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even much more. A few famous rarities have reached extraordinary prices at auction, making these little copper coins highly desirable to collectors. Let's get started. The first up, 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark. This is an American 1-cent coin from an important period in United States history. Because it was produced during the final year of World War II, the absence of a mint mark is an important identifying feature, because it indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The 1945 Philadelphia issue had a very large mintage of approximately 1,040,515,000 pieces. According to NGC records, the coin weighs about 311 grams and measures about 19 millimeters across. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and carries the famous Lincoln portrait on the obverse with two wheat ears on the reverse. The history of the 1945 wheat penny is closely connected with the final months of World War II. During the war, the United States needed enormous quantities of metal for military equipment and ammunition. The familiar steel cent of 1943 had created its own problems, and by 1944, the mint returned to a copper-based composition using metal recovered from spent military cartridge cases. The 1945 cent continued this special wartime composition. NGC describes the 1945 issue as the second year of shellcase cent production, and explains that the alloy was made from brass cartridge cases recovered from military training facilities. The tin used in the earlier bronze composition was omitted. This historical connection makes the 1945 cent much more interesting than its 1-cent denomination might suggest. It is a small piece of American history that passed through the hands of people living through the closing period of the war. One of the first things collectors examine on a 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny is the mint mark. If there is no letter below the date, then the coin was made at Philadelphia. A D would indicate Denver, while an S would indicate San Francisco. Therefore, a 1945 penny with no mint mark is not automatically a rare error or scarce variety. In fact, the Philadelphia issue had a very large production figure, and examples are still available today. This is one reason collectors should be careful when they see online claims suggesting that every old wheat penny without a mint mark is extremely valuable. The absence of a mint mark is normal for Philadelphia coins from this period. What can make a particular example more valuable is its condition, its original color, its surface quality, its strike its eye appeal, its certification, and whether it possesses an unusual mint error or important variety. The design itself is another major reason the 1945 wheat penny remains popular with collectors. On the obverse, you can see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing right. The inscriptions include Liberty and In God We Trust. Along with the date 1945 on the reverse are the two wheat ears that gave the entire series its famous wheat penny nickname. Between the wheat stalks are the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent, together with the Latin phrase EPLUBUS UNUM. These design elements remained on Lincoln cents for decades and created one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909. Commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat reverse continued until 1958, before the Lincoln Memorial design replaced it. Because of this long history, the 1945 coin belongs to a classic and highly collected American coin series. Now let us talk about the word uncirculated, because this term can dramatically change the value of a coin. An uncirculated coin is generally one that has not experienced the normal wear associated with circulation. However, not every coin that looks shiny should automatically be called uncirculated. Collectors and professional grading companies examine details such as luster, contact marks, scratches, strike quality, color, and overall surface preservation. NGC explains that surface quality, luster, and color are especially important when grading mint state Lincoln, since the grading process can separate an ordinary mint state coin from a much more desirable high-grade example. Copper and bronze-colored cents can also be categorized according to their remaining original red coloration. Coins are commonly described as brown or BN red and brown or RB, and red or RD, the original red color, can be especially important when discussing an attractive 1945 wheat penny. A coin that has preserved a large amount of its original mint red appearance may be considerably more desirable than a similar coin that has turned brown. NGC explains that RD coins generally retain at least about 85 to 90% of their original color, while RB coins retain a smaller portion of that original red appearance. Brown coins have substantially less remaining red coloration. This does not mean that every brown coin is undesirable, because collectors appreciate attractive toning and strong surfaces. In many forms, it does mean that two coins with the same numerical grade can have different market appeal depending on color and eye appeal. Therefore, anyone trying to estimate the value the 1945 no mint mark wheat penny should examine the coin under good lighting and avoid judging its value from the date alone. So what is the current market value of a 1945 Philadelphia wheat penny? In uncirculated condition, this is where the answer becomes more complicated, because there is no single guaranteed price. Current price guides show that ordinary mint state examples can still be relatively affordable, while exceptional high-grade red examples can become much more valuable. NGC currently lists guide values for the 1945 Philadelphia cent that rise from roughly $1 in lower mint state levels to several dollars, and then into higher values at stronger grades. Its listed MSRD levels reach about $8.50 at MS65 and about $27.50 at MS67. In the displayed guide data, these are guide figures rather than guaranteed selling prices. Actual auction results can be higher or lower depending on certification, color, eye appeal, population, and demand. The PCGS price guide also emphasizes that coin values are only guides and that actual market prices can vary. Dealer asking prices, auction results, collector demand, and the availability of comparable coins can all influence what someone is willing to pay for Lincoln Wheat. Sense the difference between a normal mint state coin and an exceptionally preserved high-grade specimen can be substantial. PCGS lists general wheat cent type values that increase as grade and original red color improve. Its guide shows that RD examples can rise from modest prices in lower mint state grades into much higher amounts at exceptional grades. Therefore, it is important not to confuse a visually shiny 1945 penny with a professionally certified high-grade rarity. A coin might look nearly perfect to the naked eye, while microscopic marks prevent it from reaching the highest grades. Another important point is that the 1945 Philadelphia wheat penny is not considered rare simply because it has no mint mark. More than 1 billion examples were produced at Philadelphia. NGC specifically notes that the issue had an enormous mintage, and that examples remain plentiful even in gem condition through MS67 RD. This is a very important fact for collectors, because it puts the coin into perspective. The real opportunity for higher value comes from finding an unusually well-preserved specimen. A coin with blazing original red color, excellent luster, minimal contact marks, strong detail, and professional certification can attract considerably more attention than an ordinary circulated example. Collectors should also watch for genuine mint errors, such as unusual die breaks or other recognized abnormalities. However, any claimed error should be examined carefully, because damage after the coin left the mint is not the same true mint-made error. Finally, the 1945 wheat penny is a perfect reminder that coin collecting is about much more than the number printed on a price guide. This tiny 1-cent piece connects collectors with the final year of World War II, the history of wartime metal conservation, the Philadelphia Mint, Abraham Lincoln, and generations of American commerce. If you have a 1945 penny with no mint mark, then first check the date and confirm that the coin is genuine. Next, examine the surfaces for wear, scratches, stains, cleaning, and contact marks. Look carefully at the original color and luster. If the coin appears genuinely uncirculated, and especially if it has strong original red color, then professional grading may be worth considering depending on the coin's quality. Current guides indicate that ordinary examples are generally not worth hundreds or thousands of dollars simply because they are from 1945. However, exceptional certified examples can command stronger prices. So, before selling your coin, always compare recent market evidence and professional price guides rather than relying on sensational claims. If you enjoyed this deep look at the 1945 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark, then remember that every old coin deserves a careful examination. A 1-cent coin can carry a remarkable story even when its market value is modest. the 1945 Philadelphia cent is especially interesting because it represents a transition period in American history, and because its wartime composition gives it a distinctive place among Lincoln cents. If your coin is truly uncirculated, then grade and color become extremely important. If it is certified at a high mint state grade with strong red color, then its value can be significantly higher than an ordinary example. Always handle collectible copper coins carefully and avoid cleaning them, because cleaning can damage the original surface and reduce collector appeal. The best approach is to preserve the coin exactly as found and seek professional evaluation. When the condition appears exceptional, the 1945 wheat penny may not be a rare coin by mintage alone, but a superbly preserved specimen can still be a fascinating and desirable collectible. And that is exactly why checking every old wheat penny can be worth the effort. Next up, 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is an interesting old United States 1-cent coin that many collectors enjoy finding today. The missing mint mark means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, where cents did not receive a mint letter. The 1946 issue is part of the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which began in 1909 and continued until 1958. This coin carries the historic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the familiar wheat ears on the reverse. Even though millions of these coins were produced, the 1946 penny can become more interesting when it is found in attractive original condition. The year 1946 was especially important in American history because it came immediately after the end of World War II. The United States was entering a new period of peace and economic change. The 1946 Lincoln cent, therefore, represents an interesting connection between wartime America and the post-war period. Collectors appreciate these coins because they are genuine pieces of everyday history. A small penny could have been used in shops, stores, transportation, vending machines, and countless ordinary transactions during the period. A 1946 penny without a mint mark was produced at Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Mint did not normally place a mint letter on its cents. During this period, a 1946 D would indicate Denver. 1946 S would indicate San Francisco. This makes the absence of a mint mark an important identification feature, but it does not automatically make the coin rare. The Philadelphia issue had a large production run and circulated widely. Therefore, collectors should focus on the condition and characteristics of the individual coin, rather than assuming that every 1946 no mint mark penny has an extremely high value. The obverse features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces toward the right, and the inscriptions include Liberty and In God We Trust. The date 1946 appears below the portrait. On the reverse, you can see two wheat stalks surrounding the central inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent. The phrase EPLUBUSUNUM appears above these wheat ears are the reason collectors commonly call this series the wheat penny. The design is one of the most recognizable American coin designs ever produced. Condition is extremely important when determining the value of a 1946 wheat penny. A coin described as being in good condition normally shows considerable circulation wear, but still has a clear date and recognizable major details. If your 1946 penny has strong details with moderate wear, may be more attractive to collectors than a heavily damaged example. Coins should be examined for scratches, corrosion, cleaning, stains, and other damage. Natural aging is common on copper cents, and the original surface can be an important part of collector appeal. The current market value of a 1946 Philadelphia wheat penny depends heavily on its grade and appearance. A normal circulated example is generally worth only a modest amount above its 1 cent face value. Common circulated examples can often be found for relatively low prices, while nicer collector-grade pieces may bring more. Professional price guides show that values increase as the grade improves. The highest prices are normally reserved for exceptional coins with excellent surfaces and strong original color. This means that a good condition 1946 no mint mark penny should not automatically be considered a coin worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. One unique feature collectors should examine is the color of the copper wheat cents. Can be described as brown or BN red and brown, or RB and red or RD. Depending on how much original red coloration remains, original red color can be desirable when combined with a high grade and attractive surfaces. However, a coin should never be cleaned to try to make it look brighter. Cleaning can leave unnatural surfaces and may reduce collector value. The best strategy is to preserve the coin in its original state and compare it with professionally graded examples. Another important point is that rarity and value are not always the same thing. The 1946 no mint mark penny is historically interesting, but the Philadelphia issue is not automatically a major rarity. What can make an individual coin special is an unusually high-grade, attractive original color, a strong strike, or a genuine mint-era. Collectors should be cautious about internet advertisements claiming that every old wheat penny is worth huge amounts of money. The date, mint mark, condition, variety, and authenticity all need to be considered before estimating a realistic value. If you have a 1946 wheat penny with no mint mark, you can begin by checking the date and examining the area beneath the date for the absence of a mint letter. Next, inspect Lincoln's hair, cheek, jaw, and coat for wear. Then turn the coin over and examine the wheat stalks and lettering. Look for unusual doubling, die cracks, or other possible mint-made features. Remember that scratches and dents created after the coin left the mint are not normally considered valuable mint errors. For an unusually attractive coin, professional authentication and grading can provide a more reliable assessment. The 1946 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a wonderful example of how an ordinary 1-cent coin can preserve an important moment in American history. Its no mint mark identifies it as a Philadelphia issue, while its wheat reverse connects it to one of the most popular coin series in the United States. In good condition, its value is generally modest, but exceptional. Examples can be more desirable depending on grade and color, so if you find a 1946 wheat penny, do not throw it away simply because it is only 1 cent. Examine it carefully, protect its original surface, and compare it with reliable market information. Sometimes the most interesting part of an old coin is not just its dollar value, but the history it has carried for generations. Next, the 1952 Lincoln Wheat Penny is a classic United States 1-cent coin that was struck at the Denver Mint. The D mint mark beneath the date identifies its place of production. This coin belongs to the famous wheat penny series designed by Victor David Brenner. Its obverse shows Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays 2 wheat stalks. A 1952 penny in fine condition normally shows noticeable circulation, where while retaining the main design details, its value depends on grade, surfaces, color, originality, and collector demand. The year 1952 was an interesting period in American history. The United States was experiencing major changes after World War II. While the Korean War was still taking place, millions of Lincoln cents were used in everyday commerce during this period. A 1952 penny could have passed through stores, banks, vending machines, and households across the country. Today, these coins provide collectors with a small connection to that era. The coin may look ordinary, but it represents more than 70 years of American history. The D mint mark is one of the most important features on this coin. It appears below the 1952 date on the obverse. The letter D indicates that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. Philadelphia cents from this period normally have no mint mark, while San Francisco coins carry an S, because several mints produced Lincoln cents. Collectors always check the mint mark when identifying an example. The 1952 D is therefore easily distinguished from the 1952 Philadelphia and 1952 S issues. The obverse carries the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Facing right above Lincoln is the inscription "In God We Trust." The word liberty appears near the left side of the portrait, and the date 1952 appears below. The reverse features the 2 wheat ears that give the coin its popular wheat penny name. The inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent surround the central design. EPLUOBUSUNUM appears above. These classic details make the coin instantly recognizable to collectors. Your description of fine condition is important when discussing value. A fine-grade coin has circulated and shows moderate wear, but important design features remain visible. Lincoln's portrait should still be clearly recognizable, and the major lettering should remain readable. On the reverse, the wheat ears will show wear, but their basic details should still be present. Fine condition is a collectible grade, but it is far below the condition of an uncirculated specimen. Small differences in surface quality and remaining detail can still affect the market price. The current market value of a 1952 wheat penny in fine condition is generally modest, rather than extremely high. Common circulated examples are often valued at only a small premium. Face value online price guides and dealer listings can show different prices, because retail asking prices are not always the same as actual selling prices. Higher values are normally associated with better grades, original surfaces, attractive color certification, and scarce varieties. Therefore, a normal 1952D penny in fine condition should not automatically be considered a coin worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. One of the unique features of this coin is its original copper appearance. Older Lincoln cents can develop brown coloration as the metal reacts with the environment. Some coins retain more reddish color than others. Collectors often classify Lincoln cents as brown red and brown or red, depending on their remaining original color. Color becomes especially important in high-grade coins. For a circulated fine example, the grade and overall preservation are usually more important than expecting a huge premium simply because of color. Another feature worth checking is the possibility of a genuine mint error or unusual variety. Collectors examine the date, mint mark, lettering, and design for abnormal characteristics. However, not every strange-looking mark is a valuable error. Scratches, dents, corrosion, and damage from circulation are common on old pennies. A genuine mint error occurred during production and should be evaluated carefully. If your 1952D penny appears unusual, it can be useful to compare it with trusted references or have it examined by a professional. The historical background of the 1952D wheat penny makes it appealing, even when its market value is not enormous. The Lincoln wheat design had already been in production for more than 4 decades. By 1952, it would continue for several more years before the wheat reverse was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This means the 1952D belongs to the final decade of the wheat penny era. Collectors often enjoy building complete date and mint mark sets because each coin represents a different part of the series. If you discover a 1952D wheat penny in fine condition, keep it safely stored and avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can leave scratches and unnatural surfaces that may reduce collector appeal. Examine the coin under good lighting and check the date and mint mark. Carefully look at Lincoln's portrait and the wheat stalks for remaining detail. Compare your coin with reliable price guides. Recent sales before deciding its value. The 1952D is not automatically a rare fortune coin, but a well-preserved example can be a pleasing collectible. Its greatest attraction is the combination of history, classic design, Denver mint production, and the enduring popularity of Lincoln Wheat Pennies. Next up, 1956D Lincoln Wheat Penny is a fascinating old United States 1-cent coin that was produced at the Denver Mint. The D mint mark beneath the date identifies this coin as a Denver issue. It belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series that remains popular with collectors around the world. A 1956D penny in fantastic condition can be especially attractive because well-preserved surfaces and strong details can increase collector interest. The year 1956 was near the end of the famous wheat reverse era. The Lincoln wheat design had been used since 1909 and would continue only until 1958. In 1959, the reverse design changed to the Lincoln Memorial. This makes the 1956D penny part of the final years of one of America's most recognizable coin designs. The obverse features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln created by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces toward the right. The words, "God we trust," appear above his portrait. Liberty appears to the left, and the date 1956 appears below. The D mint mark can be found below the date and tells collectors that this particular coin was struck at Denver. The reverse is where the famous wheat design appears. 2 wheat stalks frame the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent. The words EPLUBUSUNUM appear above the design. These wheat ears are responsible for the popular name wheat penny. The design gives the 1956D coin a classic appearance. The collectors immediately recognize. Condition is one of the most important factors when estimating the value of a 1956D wheat penny. A coin described as being in fantastic condition may have strong details, attractive surfaces, and limited signs of circulation. If the coin is actually uncirculated, then its value can be considerably different from a heavily circulated example. Professional grading can help determine the exact condition and can also confirm the authenticity of the coin. The current market value of a 1956D wheat penny can vary widely depending on grade and appearance. Most circulated examples are common and normally have modest values. Better preserved examples can bring higher prices. Coins with exceptional grades and attractive original red color can be much more desirable. This is why collectors should never estimate the value from the date alone. The original color of the copper is another feature worth examining. Lincoln cents can appear brown or reddish depending on how the metal has aged. Collectors commonly use the designations brown red and brown and red when describing copper coins. Strong original red color can be particularly desirable in high-grade examples. A coin should never be cleaned in an attempt to restore its original appearance, because cleaning can damage the surfaces. The D-mint mark is an important identification feature of the 1956 D penny. It separates this coin from the Philadelphia issue and the San Francisco issue. Collectors often build date and mint mark collections, and therefore the mint mark is an essential part of identifying the coin. A clear and correctly positioned D can also help collectors compare their coin with recognized examples. Another interesting feature to investigate is the possibility of a genuine mint error or unusual variety. Collectors may examine date lettering, mint mark, and other design elements for abnormalities. However, damage caused after the coin left the mint should not be confused with a genuine mint error. Scratches, dents, and corrosion are common on old cents. Any unusual feature should be carefully researched before assigning a premium value. The 1956 D penny is historically important because it was produced during a period of major change in the United States. The country was experiencing economic growth, rapid technological development. During the 1950s, these pennies were used in ordinary daily transactions and could have passed through countless hands. Today, a surviving example gives collectors a small physical connection to everyday American life. During that period, the coin is also interesting because it belongs to the final generation of Lincoln wheat cents. The wheat reverse would soon disappear, and the Lincoln Memorial would take its place in 1959. This gives the 1956 D a special place near the end of the series. Collectors who enjoy historical coin designs often appreciate these final wheat cents because they represent the closing chapter of a famous design. When examining a 1956 D penny in fantastic condition, look closely at Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jaw. These areas can show signs of wear or contact marks on the reverse. Inspect the wheat ears and lettering. A strong strike with clean surfaces can make the coin much more attractive. Original mint luster can also be an important sign of preservation for current market value. It is important to remember that price guides are only estimates. Actual selling prices can change according to grade, certification, color, eye appeal, collector demand, and market conditions. A normal circulated 1956 D penny is generally not a huge rarity. Exceptional certified examples can be much more valuable than ordinary pieces. This is why a professional grade can make a major difference when evaluating a high-quality specimen. If you own a 1956 D wheat penny, do not clean it or polish it. Keep the coin in a safe holder and protect it from moisture and harsh chemicals. Examine it carefully under good lighting and compare it with reliable numismatic references. If the coin truly has exceptional surfaces and strong original color, then professional authentication and grading may be worth considering. A certified grade can provide a more reliable description of the coin's condition. The 1956 D Lincoln Wheat Penny may have a denomination of only 1 cent, but its history makes it far more interesting than its face value suggests. Its Denver mint mark, classic Lincoln portrait, famous wheat reverse, and place near the end of the wheat penny era all contribute to its collector appeal. A fantastic condition example deserves careful examination because grade and preservation can strongly influence market value. While not every 1956 D penny is a rare fortune coin, an outstanding specimen can still be a valuable and exciting addition to a collection. Always compare recent market information before deciding what your coin may be worth. Next up, 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is a classic American 1-cent coin from the final years of the famous wheat reverse series. No mint mark means this particular coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. The coin shows Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. Even when a 1957 penny looks dirty and heavily aged, it can still be interesting to collectors because its condition and originality help determine its market value. The coin should be examined carefully before anyone decides that it is worthless. The year 1957 was an important period in the history of the Lincoln Wheat Penny. The original wheat reverse design had been used since 1909. Only 2 years later, in 1959, the reverse would change to the Lincoln Memorial design. This makes the 1957 penny one of the final wheat cents produced for circulation. Collectors often enjoy these late wheat cents because they represent the closing years of a famous American coin design. A coin that looks ordinary today once played a role in everyday American commerce. The absence of a mint mark is an important identifying feature of the 1957 Philadelphia issue. The mint mark is normally found beneath the date on Lincoln cents from this period. A D would identify Denver production, while an S would identify San Francisco Philadelphia coins, generally carried no mint letter, therefore a 1957 penny without a mint mark is not automatically a mint error. It is a normal Philadelphia issue. The real question is how well the individual coin has survived, and whether it has any genuine unusual characteristics. The obverse carries Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln faces toward the right, and the inscriptions include "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." The date 1957 appears below the portrait. On the reverse are two wheat ears surrounding the words United States of America, and 1 cent. The phrase EPLUBUSUNUM appears above. This simple but memorable design is one reason wheat cents remain popular more than 6 decades after the series ended. A dirty 1957 wheat penny requires special attention because dirt and environmental deposits can hide important details. Dirt does not automatically mean the coin is rare or valuable. Some coins have ordinary surface grime from decades of circulation, while others may have staining or corrosion caused by improper storage. Collectors generally prefer original surfaces and recommend avoiding aggressive cleaning. Polishing or chemical cleaning can leave permanent damage that may reduce the coin's collector appeal. Before judging the value, it is better to identify whether the dark appearance is simple dirt or actual damage to the copper surface. The current market value of a 1957 Philadelphia wheat penny depends heavily on its condition. A circulated example in ordinary condition is generally common and usually has only a modest collector premium. A dirty coin in lower circulated condition is unlikely to bring a very large price simply because it is old. Higher values can occur when a coin has exceptional preservation, strong original color, an attractive appearance, or a recognized mint error. Price guides and auction results should be used carefully because asking prices are not always the same as actual selling prices. One unique feature to examine is the original copper color beneath the dirt. If the coin has not been chemically treated, then careful professional conservation or expert evaluation may reveal more about its surfaces. Collectors often describe copper cents as brown red and brown or red, according to their remaining original color. Original red color is especially important in high-grade Lincoln cents. However, a dirty coin should never be scrubbed simply to make it brighter. Professionals should determine whether any cleaning is appropriate, because amateur cleaning can permanently damage the coin. Another interesting feature is the possibility of a genuine mint-made error. Collectors sometimes search old wheat cents for doubled lettering, unusual die characteristics, die cracks, or other production abnormalities. But a strange mark does not automatically make a coin valuable. Scratches, dents, corrosion, and damage from tools are usually post-mint damage. If your 1957 penny has an unusual feature, then compare it with trusted numismatic references before assuming that it is a rare error. Professional authentication is the safest way to evaluate a potentially valuable variety or error. The 1957 wheat penny also has historical value because it represents everyday life in post-war America. During the 1950s, the United States was experiencing economic growth and rapid changes in technology and culture. A 1 cent coin was still a practical denomination used in everyday transactions. This penny could have passed through grocery stores, gas stations, restaurants, and homes. Today, it provides a small connection to that period. Its historical story is one reason collectors continue searching through old jars, boxes, and inherited coin collections. If you have a dirty 1957 wheat penny with no mint mark, the first step is identification. Confirm the date and verify that there is no mint letter beneath it. Then inspect the portrait and reverse design for remaining detail. Do not assume that dirt makes the coin rare, and do not assume that cleaning will make it more valuable. Keep the coin in a safe, dry holder and compare it with reliable examples. If you discover strong details, unusual color, or a possible mint error, then professional evaluation may be worthwhile. The 1957 Philadelphia wheat penny is generally a common issue, but a well-preserved or genuinely unusual example can still attract collector interest. The 1957 wheat penny is especially fascinating because it comes from the final chapter of the wheat reverse era. Just 2 years later, the famous Lincoln Memorial reverse would replace the wheat design. That historical transition gives this small coin a special place in American numismatics. Even a dirty example can tell a story about circulation, age, and the way copper changes over time. Its market value depends on much more than the date. The exact condition, surface quality, color, variety, and authenticity all matter. When checking the condition of your 1957 penny, look closely at Lincoln's hair and facial features. Then inspect the lettering and wheat stalks on the reverse. Heavy wear can place a coin into a lower circulated grade, while stronger details can make it more desirable. Dirt can make grading difficult, because it may hide the actual surface. For this reason, an apparently dirty coin should not be graded from a quick glance. Good lighting and careful examination are important before estimating its value. The market value of a 1957 no mint mark wheat penny is generally modest for ordinary circulated pieces. A dirty circulated coin will usually not be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars simply because it is from 1957. Exceptional high-grade examples and recognized errors are a different situation. Those coins can attract stronger collector demand. This is why sensational claims about every wheat penny being worth a fortune should be treated carefully. Always check the exact date, mint mark, grade, and variety before believing a high-price claim. If your 1957 penny has dirt on the surface, the safest approach is preservation rather than aggressive cleaning. Do not use household chemicals, metal polish, or abrasive materials. Keep the coin away from excessive moisture and store it in a suitable holder. If the coin appears especially old or unusual, then a professional coin dealer or grading service can help determine its condition. The goal is to preserve the evidence that the coin has accumulated over its long history. Original surfaces can be more important to collectors than a bright appearance created by cleaning. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is a wonderful example of an old coin that combines history and collecting interest. It was made at Philadelphia during the final years of the wheat reverse design. Its Abraham Lincoln portrait wheat stalks, date, and missing mint mark are its most important identification features. In dirty circulated condition, it is generally a common collectible rather than an automatic high-value rarity. However, every coin should be examined carefully, because unusual varieties and exceptional preservation can change the picture. If you find one in an old collection or coin jar, take a moment to inspect it before spending it. Even a small 1-cent coin can carry more than 60 years of American history. Thanks for watching.